to thee. Never my God to thee. God to thee. Never to thee. What is going on here? What is going? Okay, there we go. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. Welcome again. This is Trev from Trev Essence, guys. I want to say welcome to everybody who is joining me right now. It is Saturday evening and the day before Father's Day, and what better time for us to reflect and talk about how the absence of a father has influenced our life. Now, I say the absence of a father because I am coming from my experience. I lost my dad when I was only 8 years old. And so for me, my entire life, most of my life has been without a father. I am a product of being raised by a single mother. So today I want to talk with you all about how you have survived. I'm going to share my experience with you all, and I want you all to share your experience with me about how you have been able to cope, how you have been able to survive life as a child being raised by a single mother. We know that not many people have experienced what we have experienced. There are people who boast about having had both parents in the household, and society has seen that as the ideal, where you have a mother and a father in the household raising the children. And some people have even gone to as far as to say that those children fare off better than the children who were raised in a single household. A lot of times people do not take into consideration that there are different reasons why a household becomes a one-parent household. We know that with the high instances of killings in our community, of murders of men in our community, a lot of our children end up being fatherless, being raised only by their mothers. We know that with the high incarceration rate of the men in our community, a lot of our children end up spending the majority of their formative years being raised only by their mom. We know that. Today, I'm not going to be discussing whether or not it is ideal for a child to be raised by a single parent. That's not what I am about today, because being raised by a single parent or not, as long as you were raised and raised well, then you have to do nothing but be grateful. As long as you were raised and be grateful to everybody who influenced your life positively so that you could have a positive outcome. Okay? For me, being raised by a single mother was I didn't know any different. So it wasn't like, oh, my friend has a mother and a father. Who? Her life must be better than mine. No, I've never had those feelings. Why? Because I was comfortable with my circumstance. There was no man in the house to molest me, number one. There was no daddy to run to if something didn't go right with my mom. If my mom disciplined me about something, there was no daddy to run to. There wasn't anybody who was going to upend the decision that she had made. I had to live with the consequences of whatever I did and whatever decision my mom made. So that was just that. There was no antagonism, no opposition to whatever my mom said. And if my mom said, this is the rule, this is the rule. This is what I want, this is what I want. And so I didn't have those conflicts. I've heard friends of mine who were raised in a household with their mom and their dad express, that they've always had conflicts with, mom wanting them to do something that dad didn't want them to do, and vice versa. And so they have grown up with this conflict of, should I please mom? Should I please dad? And if I do something that mom says I should do, how is it going to affect my dad? And if I did something my dad would rather me do, how is it going to affect my mom? It doesn't seem like I'm going to be betraying one or the other if I go by what either one says. And also, I've had friends who say their parents usually get into conflict because of that, because parents have different parenting styles. And dad might say, at 13, it is okay to date. It is okay to go out with a guy, while mom says, no, 13, you are too young, and stuff like that. Mom might say, well, if you misbehave, I'm going to rip your skin up with this belt. While dad would say, if you misbehave, go stand in the corner for 30 minutes. Something like that. So things like different parenting styles also come into play when there are two parents in the household. I didn't have those conflicts, as I told you. I was raised just by my mom and my aunt, and the parenting styles of both of them were just about the same. You got a whooping when you went way out of line. You got beatings that were piled up, like, yes, like you didn't wash the dishes last week when you were supposed to, and my mom had to do it. Yes, she remembers that. Yes, last week you were supposed to leave at 9 o'clock with everybody else to go to church. And for whatever reason, you loitered and loitered and loitered, and everybody left you. And then it doesn't matter what time you showed up at church, it was what time she saw you. So if she saw you at 11:30, that means that's the time you got there. And so she has that whooping saved for you. If last week it was your turn to go pick up the chicken eggs and you didn't, she has that saved up for you as well. If you went to school and you had a fight with anybody for any reason and she didn't catch you then because you ran and hide, she is waiting with that. And if it takes 10 weeks and she has 10 beatings piled up for you, when she catch you, you're going to get all of it at once with that piece of rubber. You are going to get it. So that's how I was raised. My mom never spared the rod to spoil us. Mm-mm, she did not. If you were out of line, you were going to get it with a belt. You were going to get it with that piece of rubber, whatever it is. You were going to get it. Because she will tell you, when I say what I say, I mean what I say. And when I tell you don't do something, that is what I mean. Don't do it. And don't do it and expect that you are going to cry or sweet talk me. And that crying or that sweet talking is going to make me forget that you were not supposed to do whatever it was that you were not supposed to do. Have I ever gone out of line? Of course I have. I have gone out of line. I have gone way out of line, far, far out of line. But there's one thing that I was never short of growing up, and that is love. I know of people who were raised in a household with both parents, but they can never tell you about the love they were raised with because apparently they felt like there was just a two parent, but there wasn't any love. Mom and dad were constantly fighting, and because they were constantly fighting, the household was chaotic. Everybody was angry. The anger spilled over on the children because when mom is angry, she tell you, go on about your business, go do whatever I don't want to do. In the business, I don't go do whatever I don't want to do. Whatever happen, happen. And when dad was angry, everybody got the belt, including mama. So there are people whose circumstances were different from mine, and there were people whose circumstances were similar to mine, even though they had both parents. Now, today that we're going to talk about, how was your life? Did you experience single parenthood? Were you a child who was raised by a single parent? If you were a child who was raised by a single parent, you were raised without your father, whether it was that your father just upped and ran away, whether it was that your father disowned you, said you weren't his, whether it is that your father died before you knew yourself, whether it is that your father died when you were a young child, or whether it is that your father moved away, lived abroad, whatever the circumstances were that left you exposed to being raised by a single parent, now is a good time to talk about it. Come on over and chat with me. Let us have a discussion. Let's talk about it. I have dropped the link in the chat. Go ahead and click on the link, and that will go ahead, follow the directions and join me on screen, or call me. The phone number is running on the bottom of the screen. Call me and let's chat. Tell me how being raised by a single parent has affected your upbringing. How has it affected your life and what you have become as an adult? Go ahead and call me at 910-605-7149. All right. Or go ahead and follow the link. If you want to come up on the chat, that is also welcome. So go ahead, click on the link in the chat and come on up and let's have a conversation about it. Before I go any further, guys, this is Trev from Trevessence. Today we are talking about life without a father. If you have had a father, if you have not had a father or a father figure influence on your upbringing, I would love to talk to you. I would love for you to share your experience with me. If it is your first time on my channel, I want to say welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. If you are a returning traveler, I want to say thank you for your continued support. Now, when you come in, guys, do not forget to like, comment, and share. All right, we will continue. So I want to tell you some other things about me growing up with just a single mother. Some of the experiences that have molded me and made me into the woman that I have become. First things first, the good things first. I don't think I can even remember anything bad about being raised by my mom, except that you know that there weren't two people overseeing your upbringing, except my mom and my aunt. You know, you don't have a mother and a father where you say, okay, if my mom isn't there, then my dad is there. I didn't have that. I have, if my mom isn't home, when is she coming home? All right. And sometimes my mom would work late, especially during the months when it was tourist season. Because all my life, my mom she has been a hairdresser, she has been a dressmaker, she has worked in the hotel, she has done her little buying and selling, she has cook and sell. She has a little shop, a little stall, a little something. But my mom was always doing something, always having different streams of income to make sure that her girls had what they needed. We may not have had what we wanted, but we always had what we needed. We never went to bed without dinner. And as you heard my mom in her prayer this morning, she thanked God for having been able to stand by her and help her. She said, my girls have never gone to bed without dinner. That is true. We have never gone to bed without dinner. We have never not had the things that we needed to survive. When it comes to going to school, when it comes to getting our school supplies, we were never without school supplies. Never without school supplies. If my mom could not afford to buy us a school bag, she would get like an old jeans. My mom would cut up that old jeans and make us a book bag. So you'll be having your hot girl jeans bag that your mom just made from cutting up one of her jeans. Yes. If our shoes were tight, trust and believe me, back in those days we could cut out the toe of the shoe and cut out the back of the shoe until you got a new shoe. Yeah, we cut out the front, cut out the back so your toe had room until you could get a new pair of shoe. And we wore it with confidence and we went out. I don't know anything about walking barefooted. I've heard people tell stories about them having to go to school barefooted because they didn't have any shoes and their mother couldn't afford any and their daddy wouldn't contribute. I don't have those experiences. We always had shoes. We always had food. And when it came to having school books, my mom would do without a lot of things just to ensure that we had our school books. Okay? And my sister, who is just a year and a little bit older than me, she and I weren't too far apart in grades, and a lot of times we would be using like the same books. My mom made sure that she bought two set of books. So if my sister and I were using the same book, we wouldn't have to worry about not having the book because my sister had the book. Each of us got our own book. Each of us had what we needed for ourselves. And you might ask me how that has influenced me. That individuality has stayed with me all my life because I understand the importance of having my own, not depending on anybody, not waiting on anybody to come in to fulfill me, to fill my needs. No, I have learned that having your own is a blessing. And whatever you do, you try to have your own. When it comes to stuff in the home, my mother was never the one to send us across the street to go beg and borrow. No, no. She was not the type of mother who was going to say to us, go across the street and ask so and so for a cup of sugar. Mm-mm. Go ask so and so for a cup of a spoon of salt. No. My mother taught us, learn to have for yourself and learn to do without what you don't have. And that is where I learned those strong values from. Learn to do without what you don't have. So if you do not have salt, you don't have to run go to your neighbor and say, well, me not have no salt, May I beg a little salt? No. My mom would tell us, no, don't do that. Nobody don't have to know that you don't have salt. Nobody have to know that you don't have salt. Learn to do without what you don't have. And if you don't have salt, you just don't have salt. Cook without it, you're not go dead. Those are lessons that my mom taught me. And those lessons I have learned and I passed on to my children. Learn to do without what you don't have. Don't be grudgeful. Don't be envious. Don't be bad mind. Don't want what other people have. Don't be ready. I don't be long eye. Do without what you don't have. If you have sugar, if you don't have sugar and you plan to make porridge, make your porridge and drink your porridge without sugar and mind your business. Your neighbor don't have to know that you don't have sugar. All right? Those are lessons my mom taught me. If you have only rice and a little piece of butter to put on it when you cook it, eat your little rice and your butter. Your neighbor don't have to know. So you don't have to run down, lad, me can't eat the rice without butter. Let me run go across the road, go ask me so and so if you lend me a piece of butter, if you lend me a little salt. No. So those were strong values that I learned from my mother. Now talk to me and tell me, what are some of the strong values you learned from your mom? Pals in the kitchen is in the house. Welcome, pals. Welcome. I am doing great, my love. How are you doing? I am doing great. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for joining me. You see the topic. I'm talking about life without a father. Now, as I told you, I was raised with just my mom and my aunt for most of the time. My dad was died since I was 8 years old, and so I was raised without a dad. And that has influenced me. That has influenced my entire life because the lessons I learned from my mom, I don't know if my dad was alive or living with us or I was raised with a mom and a dad, that I would be raised with with values any stronger than the ones I was raised with just my mom alone. And here comes Trina. Trina, how you doing? What you namming today, Trina? Welcome. There, guys, here's my friend Trina Namming is coming in the house. Welcome, welcome, Trina. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I am chatting as usual because I don't know some swallow radio. So, all right, pals, you wanna come in? You wanna come talk to me about life without a dad? Come on, pals. There is the link in the chat. Let me drop it there again. And come talk with me. Make we talk about life without a dad. I did not have my dad growing up. And I do not know if the course of my life was influenced any much by me not having a dad. The only one thing that I can say that probably would not have happened if my dad was alive, I probably would not have been a teenage mom. Probably, I would not have had my daughter when I was a teenager. Maybe not. But maybe I would have anyway. Because you know how children are, whether they have mother or father, when girls turn teenagers and their hormones start riding them, the only thing that means anything to them right then and there is a guy. And when you start to entertain a guy talking, we know where it's going to lead, and we know of the possibilities of what might happen. Because I could have never approached my mom, go tell my mom that I needed like birth control, that sort of thing. It was never going to happen. So I think what was supposed to happen happened, and every day I say, thank God it happened. Thank God, because I am so grateful for my daughter and all my children. But for my first daughter, I'm super grateful that she came along when she did. So Trina says, I never grew up with my dad because he was always abroad, but I can still say he's the best dad ever. All right, you see, that is wonderful from Trina Namins. That is wonderful. Good to know that. I mean, Paul said she wasn't raised with her dad and it was rough for her. I know there are a lot of people who share that sentiment because being raised without a father made life even more difficult for them. A lot of people were left where there were many of them. Mama wasn't working, or mama did odd jobs that wasn't considered sufficient to take care of the basic needs of the family. And so life that presented a lot of challenges in their life. For me, my mom alone had to bear the burden. She had no choice. And you heard her say this morning that she refused to take on a man because she did not want any man. She did not want to be worrying and fretting that when she's gone to work or when she's not there, the man is going to take advantage of her girls. So she had never, and I tell you all, I've told you all this before, I have never seen a man in my house, in my life. Never. And I appreciate my mom so much for that, because in one of my previous videos, I told you all that I used to be so afraid of beatings, that I used to be so compliant with everything. Anything my mom say do, you know Trev going to do it, because I don't want no beating. I don't like to be spanked. I don't like to be hit. So I would do whatever she says to do. And I thank God there wasn't a man in the house. Because imagine a man tell me, say, if me not submit to him, I go beat me, or I go tell my mother, or I go beat my mother, and if him trouble me, if him molest me, I tell my mother, him I go kill me, and I go kill my mother. Can imagine how compliant I would have been? Because I don't want him to lick me, and I'm afraid that he's going to hurt me and hurt my mom. So I am so glad my mom made that decision. So glad she made that decision. And I'm forever grateful to her for not having exposed us to that. And I hear so many horror stories, guys. So many horror stories of women who say that the stuff that their stepfathers have done to them. If you have listened to Unstoppable Annie at all, you will hear the stories of many people who talk about the horrors that they experienced at the hands of step parents. Yes. Yes, Trina. Yes. On my mother fractal morning, noon, and night. Yeah. Yes. Other fractal morning, noon, and night. Yes. That was me. That was me, mommy's girl. Yeah, so today, guys, we're just talking about how has your life been without a father, without your father present. Do you think the outcome of your life was significantly affected by the absence of a father figure in your life, whether it was whether you had a stepfather or your real father? If you had no father figure at all, I would love to talk to you. I didn't have a father figure at all. All right. I didn't have a father figure. I knew my dad. I loved my dad. I was daddy's baby, daddy's girl. But unfortunately, my dad, who was a police officer, was killed when I was only 8 years old. Only 8 years old. So I don't know what it is like. Even when I say the word daddy these days, it seems weird. Weird because it's been over 40 years that I haven't had anybody to call that. So it's weird to me when I say my daddy. Like where is he? Very strange. Let me go back in the chat, guys. My friend Pal says, I don't know my dad for 32 years, but I can tell you my mom tried her best with us and made sure we were brought up well. So this is why I work so hard to make my mom proud. Rip my queen. Okay, rest in peace for your mom. I know your mom had passed away. Okay. Yes, so that is what mothers have to do. When fathers are not there, moms have to step up to the plate and provide for their children. Mom have to step in. Mom have to do extra work, extra jobs. My mom had to do extra work. Okay, so on an evening when she came home from work, you would see somebody come up for her to perm their hair, for her to straighten their hair, or something like that. You would see my mom combing out wigs and fixing up wigs because somebody's coming for the wig. And she's fixing up the wig and she straighten it out and she put setters in the wig and all those things because somebody is coming to get that wig. And you would see her get a little pressing comb and she turn on a little the kerosene stove. She turn on the kerosene stove and she take out her pressing comb because somebody is coming to get their ear pressed. When you see her getting the machine ready, the machine together, you know that somebody is coming to give her something to sew. And she's going to sew that dress. She's going to press that hair. She's going to do whatever she's going to do. She's going to do whatever she's going to do to make sure that she made enough money so that we could eat, so that we could live somewhere, so that she did not have to say, oh, I need a man because I must depend on a man for the extra income to help me with my children. No, she never did that. And so when I tell you guys that I work hard. I work like a horse. I work hard because my children, all of my children, I pledged, must go to college. And they must go to college on my dime. If all they get at first is a bachelor's degree, that's fine with me. As long as they get enough education to be able to care for themselves. Thank God so far, I got four out the door. I have one to go. All right. I have four out the door who are meaningfully employed and able to take care of themselves. I have only one child, so to speak, left. And pretty soon she be out the door too. All right. But my but my mom has been the only source of income for us growing up. And so she had to hone in on all her talents. I remember walking with my mom. I remember sewing with my mom. Sitting there, my mom would make underwears and slips and little tank tops, and she would make little items of clothing. She would make little dish towels and stuff like that. And on a Sunday afternoon, we would walk. My mom and I, she would have this big black bag. I'll never forget. She would have this big black bag, and my mom and I would walk through our community and the communities over. We would walk and go from house to house to house every Sunday, house to house to house, and sell. People would buy underwear and slips and full slips and that sort of thing. And then people would order stuff. And so for the next week, she would be sewing. And that is where I got my love for sewing, where even now, I do so. But guess what? It's cheaper for me now to go to the store and buy a dress than to sit there and spend hours and hours sewing a dress. So that is why I don't so much sew anymore. But I have my machine downstairs. I sit around it. Mask when the mask, all the masks, everybody was getting masks in a few months ago. I was making masks and giving them away. Just making masks and giving them away because that is the skill my mom taught me. You understand? I don't know if I would have had all these skills if I had a dad too. Would it have influenced it? How would it have influenced all the skills that I learned from my mom? I know a lot of the time that she has had to spend with us, she would have had to be entertaining a man, but that didn't happen. So she has spent all her time with us girls, taught us to cook, taught us to sew, taught us to be domesticated and do all of that. Um, Honestly speaking, guys, I don't too much like the domestication part because to me it appears as though it is a woman's place to be in the house, in the kitchen, cooking and washing and cleaning every day, and I don't subscribe to that. So so that is just me, guys. But let me go back in the chat. Welcome. Let me do some housework. Welcome to my channel, guys. Welcome. This is Trev from Travessa. And if it is your first time on my channel, now is a good time to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. If you are a returning traveler, I want to say thank you for your continued support. Today we are talking about life without a father, and I'm sharing with you all my experience growing up without a father. And it wasn't by choice or by my mom's choice. My dad was killed when I was 8 years old, and so I do not have the influence of a father or a father figure because my mom did not have a man in the household. So it was just her and her children and my aunt who raised us. Let me get back in the chat. Trina says, I have had the experience as a single mom. It's not easy at all. I know, baby. I know it is not easy being a single mother. It is not easy at all. And that is why I have said to my two boys, I said, whatever you all do, whenever you decide to have children, make sure you have a plan to stay and raise your children. Do not drop your children here and drop your children there and drop your children all over the place and run away and leave your children and leave them for somebody else raise them. Because when another man comes in and the another man have to feed your children, have to protect your children, have to care for your children, and if his mind is warped and he decides that because he's feeding and clothing and putting roof over the head of your little girl, he's going to be the first one to injure her, you cannot complain because you should be there to care for your child. And I say this to my two boys without apology. So no nobody go around and go drop on a pit of them all about the place. For other man come take advantage of them. Do and do it. Stay and raise your children. So if you think the woman not good enough to be a woman, then do not make her into the mother of your child. Because I am advocating for if you make her into the mother of your child, you're going to stay and raise your children. Because, guys, I am telling you, these days, children are growing up in two households. A lot of children are being raised in two households because of separation, divorce, and it was just a baby mama, baby daddy situation. A lot of children are being raised in two households. It's not nice. We can always modify it however we want to make it tolerable, but I still believe that children would benefit more if they had one stable and functional household where the adults in the household are responsible for their care and their upbringing. I still think so. So that is what I say to my two boys. Because we find that when a man is gone, a mother still has to stay there and care for her children. Okay, let me go back in the chat. Paul say, Trev, that cue. That cue. Tell me what that mean again, pals. I don't get it. I'm a little slow. But the lovely Sharon is here. Welcome, my lovely Sharon. Sharon is here. Um, Sharon says, I grew my two daughters without a father. It was hard, but I have no regrets. Okay, so there is Sharon. Sharon says she grew her two daughters up without a father, and she has no regrets. And that also sounds like my mom. My mom has no regrets having raised us on her own. My dad was dead, so she had no choice but to raise us on her own. Pal says, she says, Trev, I get my cooking skills from my mom because I was always at her cook shop. There you go. There you go. Another blessing. Another blessing. You get your cooking skills from your mom. It's the same here. You know, my mom taught me how to cook, how to sew, everything. You know, when I was a little girl, I would sit there, and as she was making school uniforms for all the children in the community who brought their uniforms to her, as she was making, I was basting, I was hemming. You know, she was showing me how to hem a collar on, hem on the how to base a color, base on the color, and fix up the color before she would add the final stitch to the color. She would show me how to base the things together before she would apply the final stitch. And so that's where I got my love. So even nowadays, I sew, I cook, I'm baking, I'm doing all kinds of things. All of those are the domesticated things for a woman to know. I have I have learned from my mother. And that is the blessing, one of the blessings that I have, thanks to my mother. All right. Lorraine is in the house. Welcome, my dear Lorraine. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. Lorraine says, so true, Trev. Big up my father who raised me. And happy Father's Day to you. So Lorraine was raised by her dad. Was it your dad alone, Lorraine? Was it your dad alone who raised you? Was it your dad and your mom, your dad and a stepmom? How did that go? All right, Sharon says blessings to you, Trina. Give thanks. Well, I told you I was raised just by my mom and my aunt. There wasn't a dad, there wasn't a father, and there wasn't a father figure. There was just us, and thank God it was all girls. It was all girls, and my mom and my aunt. Yes, it was just us. So who wants to talk to me about Lauren says yes, brother and sister. Who wants to talk to me about how it was for them being raised without a father? Growing together with Growing together in God is here, guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you for joining us. You see what we are talking about? We are talking about life without a father. Anybody here who was raised without a father know the challenges that comes with being raised without a father. After my dad died when I was 8, I didn't have any father to go to if something went wrong, if I didn't agree with my mom on something. I didn't have any father to run to. My mom says, this is the law, this is the rule. I lay down the rule here because I put the roof over your head and the food to eat on the table. So if you don't want to go by my rules, you know what to do. Hit the road. If you don't want to go by my rules, it's my rules and my rules alone. So because I had only my mom and my aunt, but because my mom was the only one who was laying down the rules and all, I didn't have anybody to upend her rules. I didn't have anybody to say that whatever my mom said, to go against whatever my mom said. So it was just what my mom says. That's the rule. That's the order. Nobody else. So I haven't had the influence, guys. I've had a father figure influence on my upbringing. Anybody else was like me? Anybody else didn't have a father figure influence on their upbringing? I did not. Come on, guys. Talk to me. Call me. Talk to me. Talk to me in the chat if you all don't want to call me. Talk to me in the chat and tell me how life has been without a father in your life. How has it been for you? Lorraine is here. Lorraine says, blessing pals. There is Paz Kitchen saying hi to Growing Together in God. Growing Together in God. Welcome, welcome to my stream. Now it's time for me to do some housework. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thank you for joining me. This is Trey from Traverses. If it is your first time on my channel, guys, I want to say welcome. And now is a good time for you to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, and share. We would love to have you join in the conversation. We are talking about life without a father. Are you somebody who was raised just by your mother? Did you not have a father in your life like I didn't? Do you want to share your experience with me? Go ahead. Call me and let us talk. Lorraine says, God gives me one wish to bring back someone alive. Oh, Lorraine says if God gave her one wish to bring back somebody alive, she would bring her dad back. Beautiful, Lorraine. That is wonderful. I feel the same way. I would have brought my daddy back in a hurry, in a heartbeat. I would have brought my daddy back. Thank you, Growing Together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Happy Saturday, Sharon. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you all. So, is there anybody else who want to tell me about how has their life been without a father? My life has been good. I don't have any complaints, really. I do not have any complaints having been raised by my mom alone and my mom and my aunt. I do not have any complaints. I may have gone out of line a couple times. Yeah, went out of line. My mom dragged me right back. My mom would have never given up on me, never given up on any of her children. She made sure that we went to school, we had food, we had clothes, we we were never barefooted, we were never hungry. We had what we needed. We never have no time to be envious of our neighbors having anything more than we had, because when I grew up, everybody had the same things. Nobody had more than anybody. All of us, had the same things. All of us walk from Hampstead to go to Woolbury School. All of us, walk through shortcut. All of us eat bread and mackerel. Everybody eat bread and salad. We basically ate the same thing. It was like there wasn't anybody in our circle, in our community, that we would say had anything more than anybody else. There were a few people whose father went on like farm work, or who had a dad abroad or something like that, but that didn't bother us because there was nothing to envy. So no, everybody was raised, sort of on the same platform. Nobody was above anybody else. And my mom made sure that we had what we needed, and we learned from an early age not to be ready-eyed, not to be bad mind, not to be grudgeful. Don't envy anybody for anything they have. So those are some of the wonderful values that my mom instilled in us, so that we can instill these values in our children. So nothing is wrong with a child being raised by a single parent, particularly a single mom. It is just how the mom chooses to go about it. And because society offers so many challenges in a mother raising children on her own, because when she has to go to work, the safety of the children come into play. Who is going to drop them off and pick them up, depending on the mom's time schedule? Who is going to be there with them when they get home from school? Who is going to cook? Make sure they eat? Who is going to make sure they do their homework? All of these things come into play when you have a single mother who has to go out and work to put food on the table, to keep a roof over the children's head, and then to full-time take care of the children and ensure their comfort and safety. It can be a terrible challenge, and a lot of single mothers have been burdened, feel overwhelmed with the requirements of being a single parent. Let me go back in the chat and see who is here. Lady B. The lovely Lady B is here, guys. How was your birthday, Lady B? How was your birthday? I hope I had a fantastic time. Happy birthday. You have lived to see another year come by, and I am happy for you. How did the celebrations go? Talk to me, Lady B. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, Modest Nation. The lovely Modest Nation is here, guys. Modest Nation is also a content creator, guys. So you all can check out Modest Nation as well. Welcome to the stream, Modest. Modest says, thank God I don't have a call. I have to, because raising a child on your own isn't ideal. All right, guys, that's what Modest Nation says. She thank God that she doesn't have to, because raising a child on your own isn't ideal. And I have to agree with her that that's not how it was meant to be. It wasn't meant that one parent raise the child. It was meant for two people to come together and be able to raise the child, so that the child's comfort, the child's safety and protection is always being coordinated by two people. When it is only one person who has to go out and work, there's no way you can be at work and be supervising your children at the same time. They are bound to go out of line. Nowadays, they have like cameras that you can set up in your house so you can see what's going on in your house. But nothing beats your physical presence of being there to accommodate your children, to foster their learning, to foster their growth, to be there when they have issues, for them to talk to you. Because if you are at work, your child comes home as a problem, you are at work. When you come home from work, you are so tired, you don't even have time You miss out on so much of the developmental process of your children. You miss out because you got to work to put food on the table. You are not there to see what's happening. You're not there to oversee what's going on. It is not ideal, guys. It is not ideal, but it is what it is. And a lot of single parents have been able to raise their children and raise successful children, but there have had to be some modifications into the existing rules of child rearing for those children to come out successfully. Let's see who else is in the chat. Modest Nation says, but some women make it sound like it's easy and them no need a man. Me happy for them. All right. Modest say, some women make it sound like it's easy and them no need a man. Me happy for them. A lot of times it's a show, Modest. A lot of times it's a show. Because me know and you know, all of we know, say it cannot be easy. Because even if you are a single woman and you are making buku's amount of money and you are able to pay somebody, the person you are paying to stay with your children is going to have more influence on the upbringing of your children more than you will. If you work all the time and you have to find the money to pay the bills, but you hire a nanny, and the nanny is the one who is cooking, baking, doing homework, everything. The nanny is the person in the home raising your children. You are going to find that the nanny has more influence on your child's upbringing than you do, because a lot of the times the children see the nanny more than they see the mommy. The nanny's meals is what the children become accustomed to, whatever nanny is cooking. So if nanny is from, say, a different country, and nanny is cooking, the nanny is cooking foods from her country. That's what children are gonna eat. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a nanny, and she takes care of these Caucasian children. And these Caucasian children she has been taking care of, she has been caring for, I think she has like 3 of them. And the eldest one is like 7, and she has been with that family since that one that is 7 was born. And she's caring for all 3 of them. The food they know is Jamaican food. So those children, they know dumpling, they know curry chicken, they know those things that their parents don't know. Because the nanny cooked for them what she knew. She cook curry chicken and curry goat and those kinds of things. So these children, have experienced Jamaican culture, which their parents would not have been able to expose them to. And also they're missing out because it is the nanny who is teaching them everything that they know. Is the nanny who's telling them what is right, what is wrong, and that is based on what the nanny considers to be right and wrong, because mom is never there. My friend told me she barely sees the mother leaves early in the morning. When the mother come home after 9 o'clock at night, she has already put the children to bed. The most time the mother sees her children is like on the weekends. She see our children. So no, she raise them. It is the nanny. Let me go back in the chat and see what my friends are saying. Mother says, thank God I don't have to, cause raising a child. I think I read that already. Modest also says it's not at all easy. If God did want it that way, it would make us breed with self. Modest, come out strong with that. Modest is not joking. She's not playing, guys. She come out strong with that. He said, if God did want if we raise up in them by with self, it would have make we breed with self. I agree with you, Modest. I must tell you that I agree with you. But because he didn't make us to be like that, to be able to impregnate ourselves, he wants both parents to be there to raise the children. And that's why I'm saying, fathers, you need to step up. You need to stop running left on the children. You need to tap run left on the pitney them. You need to stay and raise your children. If the woman not good enough to stay with, do not make her the mother of your child. It's as simple as that. And even so, I know nothing in life is straight cut. You might have feel like she's a good mother now. You're going to want her. And then a couple years down the road, you meet another person. You change your mind. You don't want her no more because she have pitney and her belly get big. And she have pitney and she put on weight. And whatever the frivolous nonsense that men come up with. Or you cheat on her and she not put up with it and she run you and she left you. Whatever the case may be. Let me go back in the chat and see what my friends are saying. Mother says, some women make it sound like it's easy and them don't need a man. I'm happy for them. Yeah, some people make it seem like it's easy, them don't need a man. Lorraine says, we didn't have much, but we had love. My father never complained about taking care of us. I was 7 months, going 8 months when my mom left us. I was on my deathbed, but God is good. You hear that, guys? So even though we are talking about life without a father, here we have my friend Lorraine is telling us that her mom left them and her dad raised them, never complaining, and she is praising him because he did a fantastic job at raising them. So sometimes, guys, it can be the mother who left the children and sometimes it is the father. Whatever the case may be, it can never be easy for one parent to raise children. It can never be easy. Mother says, Mothers, me love you, me love you, me love you, me love you, mothers. Mothers not joking. Mothers say, I need a man, cause me not do it alone. Mother says she need a man, cause she not do it alone. Alright, mothers. Alright. Mothers also says a lot of people don't pre it like you. And I do think they think all it takes to raise a child is providing. And it's so much more than that. I agree with you, my sister. It is so much more than that. So much more. And not just because you can provide the food and you can provide, children need more than that. So when you see, parents break up and the pitney, I have to go between houses and the pitney only see the father, only see the mother every once in a while, and people think, oh, no, the pitney, all right. You would have never know. It affects the children. It affects them. The inconsistency. And the father only thinks that him can just buy pretty clothes and pay a school fee and that's all the pitney want from him. No. The child wants your attention. The child wants your affection. The child wants to be able to sit and talk with you, to share thoughts. The child wants, your culture and your upbringing to rub off on them. Yes, you want a little bit of you to rub off on your pitney. You don't pick up yourself and you run where God left your pitney. It's the influence of the other people who have raised your child. It's their influence that your child is going to remember. Your child is not going to remember nothing from you. There are some children who can't remember nothing from them father. And them father not dead. They're like, from me at 4, me see that the Monday. Me never see him again. You understand me? Me never hear from him. Me never hear gunfire him. You understand? And fathers think that is cute. And they be like, me have something in our country. Me left them, mama, me left them. No. You leave the mother, but you don't leave your children. You divorce the mother, but you don't divorce your children. You must stay and mind your pity them and take care of them. And if you cannot be with the mother, it does not mean that you must abandon your children. Oh, you all must stop it. Be there for your children. They are your seeds. They are yours. Them come out of your back. Be there for your children. Let me see what my friends are saying in the chat. Lorraine says, I was a single mom, but my father was there to help me. If I ever tell you my stories, girl, me that love to hear the story them. Me love the story them bad. You don't want to tell me the story them? You can't call me on the phone, Lorraine. You don't have to call me. You don't have to show your face if you don't want them to see your face. You can't just call me on the phone. I make them hear the story. Cause me love the story them. Yes, man. Call me and make me know. Uh, Modest says mothers need to stop it too. Yes. Yes, Modest. The woman them need to stop it. The mother not fi run left them pitney and um them not fi deny the father them the right to see their children. Mr. People are say, oh, the man, the man who deserve to see the pitney them. What you mean by the man who deserve to see him pitney? Because you know want to see the man? The pitney them want to see them father. Yes. And if you stop it, stop denying the man them because the man left you. Stop force the man to left him pitney them. Stop force the pitney them to not see their father because you want the man not there. Go find you another man, but the pitney them must keep contact with their fathers. I have seen a lot of women who say the man nasty the pitney them and love all the pitney them as ransom over the man them head. You must stop it. Stop all the pitney them ransom over the man them head. It's not ideal if no woman raise our kids by herself. It's not ideal. But I'm a realist. So we are going to face life the way it is. You want the man there together? You have the pitney them? You want the man left. Why are you going to say the man have a right to see his children? Because you know there with the man no more? So the man of the seen pitney them. So the poor pitney them now get held hostage. The poor pitney them get a part of their life missing. Because you are going to choose to be vindictive and say the pitney them no have a right, the man no have a right to see the pitney them because him left you. So punish the man or you punish the pitney them? Talk to me. Who you think you punish? You think you punish the man? You are punishing your children. You are punishing your children. Sit down and looking at it and ask yourself if it is fair and if it is right for you to deny your children the right to experience their father, to be with their father, to learn from their father, to spend time with their father just because the man not there with you no more. Talk to me and tell me if you think that is okay. Some people are single by choice because I've known of people who choose. They say they want to be a mother, but they don't want the problems that come with having a man. So then they go out and they get pregnant, they get some chemical help and they get some help, some scientific help to have a child, but they do not want a man. So they have the child and they raise the child all by themselves. They do not want a man. It is not ideal, but some people, because we have choices, some people have made those choices that they will get the child scientifically and they will raise the child all by themselves so that they don't have to deal with the problems, because God knows a lot of problems sometimes come, but it is life. Nothing in life comes without problems. Yes. Life comes with a lot of problems. Man problem, pitney problem, people problem, all kind of problem come with life. We just have to deal with it and deal with it in the best way possible. Do not hurt anybody. Whatever you do, let it not be that you intentionally harm another human being. Let me get back in the chat and see what my lovely travelers are saying. Modest Lorraine says, oh, I read that already. Yes, story. Yes, Lorraine, you have to go call me up on the phone and tell me when you plan to tell me the story, because me like the stories. Modest says, a lot of these women make it sound so hard to co-parent. See, true, a lot of people make it sound like it's hard. Like it's hard to co-parent. It shouldn't be hard. It should not be hard, Modest. It should not be hard. All right? I'm going to tell you, I have this last child here that I have. When her father and I separated, the first thing I put on the table was the co-parenting. Because the first thing I said to the attorney, I raise her by myself. And regardless of the circumstances, and regardless of what happened, I raise her by myself. So she got to spend 1 week with me and 1 week with him. And I got a lot of pushback. Because they were like, it's a little girl. And what? No. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Wherever he is, there she shall be also when it's his week. I said a week with me and a week with him. That gives you time to recuperate. It gives you time to recover. It gives you time to spend by yourself. It gives you time to clear your head. It gives you time to reflect. It gives you a lot of time, because when you have the children around you all the time, you have to focus on them. A lot of times you don't get time to grieve on your own, because you have to be so worried about the children. And you don't want to put them to see you cry. And you don't want to put them to see you angry. You don't want the children to see you upset. And so you bottle it up, and sometimes put them just get on your nerves or something. It's time for you to break out, open up, be, unwind, let it out. So don't deny your children the right to go spend time with their father, to co-parent. Make the picnic go on 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Mine goes for 7 days. 7 days with me, 7 days with our father. Come back 7 days, go back the next 7 days. 7 days come back, 7 days go back. And I personally, I can tell you, I don't have a problem with it. When I said that is what I wanted, they were like, oh, that's strange. It's not strange. It's not strange. We're not gonna be together no more. When me I kill up myself, say me alone I go raise a child for. No. Mothers want to act sometimes that they are super women. And yes, I mean want to raise you. I don't want that stripe to say I mean want to raise you. You understand? So you go and you come back. Go experience it. Make the week when she gone, make him worry about what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna wear, how you're going to get to school, all of those things. Make him worry about it for at least 7 days and give me a break. That's why picnic have 2 parents. As my friend Modest Nation says, if God wanted us to do it alone, he would have made we breed ourselves. And since we didn't breed ourselves, do not deny your child the right. It is their right to experience their parents, and it is their right to experience their father. Do not deny your child the right to experience their father. Mothers, you all need to stop it. All right, let me get back in the chat and see what my lovely friends are saying. Mother says some of these baby mothers are crazy. You know, say true. So, say true. That is so true. Yes. Some of them mad like a shot, as my granny would have said. Yeah, man. And then do things out of hatred and bitterness and anger and, and think them are hurt anybody but the child. I'll put in them your hurt. Don't do that. And children will remember, oh, I couldn't go to my father because my mother was so angry. My mother never sent me with my father. And she want to raise me and she refused to send me to my father. So I never get to see my father. Or stuff like that. And mothers and that you're robbing your children. Stop it. You are robbing your children. Yes, because the children have a right to their other parent. So mothers, if you are out there and you're listening to me, and because you're angry because the man left you, you don't want the man to see the picnic, stop it. Send the picnic to see father. I understand that there are circumstances where the father's mental health is questionable. If you have that kind of question and you have to get supervised visit, do it. But whatever you do, make the pitney seem father unless the father unstable, upon drugs or crazy, something like that. You understand? It's some of the case where the pitney talk to him on the phone. Now we have video chat. Pitney can talk to him on video chat and all these things. But do not deny the child the right to experience their other parent. All right? Let me go back in the chat and see who else is here. Topaz. Hello, Topaz. How are you, sugar? How are you doing? Welcome back, Pal's Kitchen. Welcome back. Guys, you see the number running there on the screen. If you have been a single parent, if you have experienced single parenthood, if you have been raised without a father, and you would like to share your experience with me, with us, we would appreciate it. The number is running along the screen. Go ahead, call me. Go ahead and text in the chat. Let me know. Well, welcome to my channel. This is Trev from Trevessa, and step on up, step on in. Say something in the chat. Interact with the people in the chat. Talk with the people in the chat. You see the topic we are talking about, life without a father. And there are people here who have talked about life without a mother. They haven't had a mother either. But, I mean, they've been raised just by their father, single parenthood, whatever the case may be, guys. Come on, let us chat. All right, let me get back in the chat and see who else is here. Mother says, my brother have a baby mother there. She is a living, breathing cross. Let me read that for you again. My brother have a baby mother there. She is a living, breathing crosses. You know, some of them are crosses with you. Some people are real crosses, you know. Some people just miserable. You know, them just, me no know. Some people just, me no know. And when people do things and hurt children inadvertently, and then things that might do the best things for the children, you are not. You are hurting the children. And you deny the pit them the right for them father. You deny the pit them the right to spend time with them father, the right to experience them father. When you deny the children all of that, you don't know how much you are hurting your children. And mothers, you all need to stop doing that, because when you hurt your children like that, it is a hurt that your children will never forget. It is a pain that your children will never forget. So you all must stop it. Don't do it. Don't hurt your children like that. All right, let us continue. All right, let us continue. Let's see what else is in the chat. Mother says, but men, be careful who you breed, and women, be careful who you open your legs to. Is a two-way thing. Lord Jesus, mother, it's not easy. Mother said the man have to be careful with them breed, and women must be careful. Lord Jesus, no matter how careful we are, sometimes we never know some of the people them are demon until after the fact. Because every relationship, you expect every relationship to work. And if the last one never work, when you get the other one, you feel like, say, yes, the one you come good. The one you feel nice. The one you feel like, say, yes, are the right one. And the one you feel like, yeah, me are heaven with the one you. And next thing you know, him is just like the rest of crosses. You know, just like the rest of them. But mothers, you know, easy at all. Yeah, we have to be careful. But after the leg walk, after the leg walk, after the breed, we just have to deal with the problems after that. We just have to deal with it. So we don't have to be prepared to deal with it. Deal with the outcome, whatever it is. That's why you have to assess the situation. Assess the situation. What if? Don't just go into the situation blind, one-sided, you know, and say, all right, the relationship is going to work. It's going to work, and we are going to this. And no. No, go in there with an open mind. You say, you know what? This relationship feels good. It feels like the one. It feels good. I feel confident that this relationship is going to work, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure the relationship works. But in the event that this does not work, because we know the possibility does exist. So in the event that this relationship does not work, this is my backup plan. This is how I intend to move on. All right? You must have a plan. Because nothing is set in a stone, you know, guys. Nothing is set in stone. And no matter how you see the man, them come nice and sweet and dress up in a jacket and tie, enough time them a wolf in a sheep clothing. And you see them come nice and sweet. Go down on them knees and eat and belch. The man them we get up same way. Cheat by your left, you do whatever. You understand? You must have a plan as to how you are going to handle the event of a breakup. And when that happens, whatever you do not harm your children in the process. You understand me? Me know so sometimes you will want to say, you know, sitting, me don't even want the man if it chat to me picnic. Me don't even want the man if it even, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because that same man is the pitney father. The man blood run through that pitney vein. So you know to do it. Do not deny the man the right and the pitney the right to see and spend time with and learn from their father. Let me get back in the chat and see what my friends are saying. Mother says, I have to put them on them scientific babies. Yes, you know, that is the trend these days, especially for successful career women. Them no want no man to come derail them plan. Them no want no man to come in at them business, come tell them what to do. So they wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and put it up, and they can't find a body, and them can't find a body because they refuse to jump in. And they wait until when they are 40 years old and they say, Lord Jesus Christ, all of me egg them now a dry up. All of me egg them now a scramble out. So guess what? Me want pitney and I want to experience motherhood. So what me I go do is me I go buy some sperm and me I go, you know, fertilize the egg, and then I go make them store it and artificially inseminate it, and then I'm going to have this child. I mean, when I go raise this pitney, the pitney don't want a father, pitney have no father. A lot of women have made that decision. And then to raise the children by themselves. We see that happening over the last, say, 20, 30 years. We have seen where a lot of women are using that option. It's still not nice to raise pitney by yourself, but people make that option and get them like a scientific baby and keep on moving. All right, Mother said, be by rock. You're running, but me gonna hang out some clothes. All right, Mother's gonna hang out clothes and blowing at the breeze. All right, Paul say I'm back. Okay, welcome back, pals. Lorraine say it's too painful. It's too painful to talk to me? I know it can be sometimes, but sometimes we have to let it out. Sometimes we have to talk. And trust me, sweetheart, I have had some of the most painful experiences. And you see, since me start talking about them, I feel so much better. Even though every now and then we still talk to myself, you know, every now and then you will hear me. I talk to myself. My kids know it. My family members know it. That I talk to myself a lot. You will hear me sometimes just bust out a conversation of what is going on in my mind. And sometimes it is what I wish I could say to people that I have not said to them, that I don't want to say to them because I don't want to hurt their feelings. And I will just bust it out to myself. It happens. But it's always good to talk it out. And I have learned that it is good to talk it out. Talk out what you are feeling. And only every heart know their own sorrow. But hurt have no sorrow that heaven cannot cure. Let me get back in the chat. Lorraine says it's too painful. Paul says, sorry, my phone has sent out madness. What kind of madness your phone has sent out, Pals? Tell your phone to behave itself. Tell your phone to behave. Lorraine says, madness not normal. Lord have mercy. Mother's lively up me Saturday evening, man. Mother's not easy at all. She not easy one bit. She not easy. Oh my God. And the lovely Sherry is here. Sharon says, every heart knows its sorrows. And the last word, if I did know, because a lot of men does not give their children nothing. But as they pass the worst, they show up. Jesus have mercy. You lick the nail upon the head, Sharon. You have hit the nail on the head. That is so true. Because some men see their children as a burden, a financial burden. And I will tell these men that your children is, of course, your financial burden. Your children is, of course, your financial problem. Your children are your problem, not somebody else's. Your children are your problem. And when you have children, you are supposed to take care of them. You're supposed to care for your pitney them. And enough of these men, a lot of these men go away and they leave their children. They don't know how to pit them eat. They don't know how to pit them go to school. They have never contributed a dollar to pit them upbringing. Them don't know how to pit them, so they pit them and go to school a uniform and a school fee pay and book buy and something, and them don't know how one sharpener buy. And mother suffer and do without. Wear the same shoes, go work and church. And mother suffer and sacrifice and raise those children. And when they pitney them go to school and graduate and start work and if you take care of them mother now, the father them jump up and say, you see my big daughter? My big daughter that you know. Look on her, look how she favor me. Yeah man, I'm a big daughter this you know. And you never get the same daughter a dollar. And you never, yes, you may talk, and you never get the same daughter where they show off with no one that say, Lala, come my daughter, pretty man of my daughter that you know. I'm a big daughter that you know. I'm a big son that you know. Look at my son, I'm cute. Look at me, Lala, come my son favor me, man. Of my boy that you know. And you never know how one CXC pay for. You never know the batterings what the mother went through. If you send that the pity they go to high school. You never one day buy one book. If you get book, you never buy one pencil. All the while, it's the mother who has been worried about this child. It's the mother who has been taking care of this child. It is the mother who has been there for this child. And now you come, you want all the glory. No book no read so. No sanky no sing so. You must be there for your children. I'm talking to no men. Top run where left no pitney them. Stay there and raise your children. Be there for your children. If you cannot be with the mother, it doesn't mean that you turn your back on your children. It means that you are not with the mother. You have divorced the mother. You have separated from the mother, whatever the case may be, but you must always remain in your children's lives. Let me go back into the chat and see what my friends, my lovely travelers are saying. Lorraine says, Sharon, blessings. That is what happening now with my mother side situation. Oh, Lorraine, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, darling. I'm so sorry. Welcome to the chat. Nurse James in the house. Wow! Welcome to the chat, Nurse James. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining, darling. Thank you so much. We are here talking. Because Nurse James can was this nurse here swallow radio. So from one nurse to the next, yes, me swallow radio. Some day I chat. Me might not swallow my medicine, but me swallow radio. Yeah, so we are here talking about life without a father. And we are sharing experiences. Some people haven't had a father, some people haven't had a mother. But in any case, we're talking about those who have experienced single parenthood, whether or not they have been a single parent or they have been raised by a single parent. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so, what is Nurse James? Nurse James. Nurse James say, at Mother's Nation, the girl them PlayStation. Lord Jesus, there's James a rhyme up. Nurse James, not easy. So anyway, guys, as we continue the conversation, if you want to call me and talk about your experience as a single parent, or you want to, if you want to call me, go ahead, call me. The Number is running along the screen. Also, there is the link in the chat. Let me drop the link again right there if you want to come on up on the live with me and let's have a conversation. That would be wonderful. It is the day before Father's Day, and so I would love to have that conversation with you all. We have been chatting for a little bit, and I appreciate all my travelers who have been in the chat chatting with me. I appreciate it. Modest Nation has given us some fantastic thoughts. Modest Nation said, if we careful, what kind of man we breed for? I will be careful, and the man if be careful who them breed. Some of the women them are crosses, some of the man them are bigger crosses. But in any event, in any case, we are moving on in life and we are trying to do the right thing. Regardless of our circumstances, we are trying to do the right thing. If you were raised by a single parent, I want to hear from you. Come on, let's talk. Come chat with me. If you have been raised by a single parent, I have been raised by a single parent, and I have told you all my story. Having been raised by my mother alone, my dad was dead my dad was killed when I was 8 years old, and so I've not had the influence of a male parent growing up because my mom never exposed us to a stepfather. So there was no man in our house. Never seen my mom with a man. Never. My mom didn't get married until I was 32 or 33, somewhere around there. But I was an adult. I was an adult with my own children when my mom got married. Yes. I don't know the stepfather business. I don't know. And I sympathize with my friends and people I've talked to who have told me horrible stories about having been exposed to a stepfather, and the molestations and the bad treatment and all of that. Thank God I was never exposed to that. So I cannot relate to it, but I can empathize with those who have experienced such. So if you are in the chat, guys, and you would love to come up on the stream and chat with me, why unafraid? Come, let us talk. Let us talk about it. Come on up. Let us talk about it. All right, guys, but before we do, while we are talking, and we are also talking about the bad influences that mothers sometimes have, and how the mothers sometimes try to poison the children's minds against their fathers for whatever reason, because she's angry that the man left her, because she's angry that the man have another woman, because she's angry, well, whatever. Because people find all kinds of things to angry about these days, things that are not even worth being angry about. People find stuff to be angry about. But when you left the man or the man left you, whatever the case may be, do not deny the man the right to be in his child's life. Do not. And I'm going to share with you all a video. I'm going to show you all this video of a child. This video is so painful for me to watch. When I watch it, I just don't understand it. But I'm going to share it with you all so that you all can tell me, so we can have a conversation around this video to say, why? What would you do in this situation? The video shows a child, a young child, no more than maybe 2 or 3 years old, maybe 4 years old the most. And apparently, this child went to spend time with her father. And her father had her hair done, had the child's hair braided beautifully, brought the child back to the mom, and instead of encouraging the child and say, wow, your daddy got your hair done, it's beautiful. No, what the woman do? I'm not even going to tell you, no, but I'm going to show it to you all. Let me get back in the chat before I go there, though, and talk to my friend. The lovely Lorraine Bailey says, yes, my father said if our mother treated us so bad, he will never cause us no more pain. So he takes care of us all the way until his death. Oh, that is so sweet. Your dad, may your dad rest in peace. Your dad seemed to have been a wonderful human being. Oh, that just touched my heart, Lorraine. I can now I really can imagine how you feel about having lost your dad, and I am so sorry because it seems like he was absolutely wonderful. He was a wonderful human being. The lovely Ansia is in the house. Welcome, Ansia. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. You see the topic we are talking about: living without a father. And I'm sharing my experience about having been raised by just my mother. And the other travelers in the chat, we are talking about having been raised without a mother or a father, because some people have shared their experience that they were raised only by their father or they were raised only by their mother, and the influence this has had on their outcomes. As the conversation continues about fathers in children's lives and the impact that fathers have on the upbringing of their children, the conversation has also morphed into how women deal with a divorce, a separation from the father of their child, how some women have gone to lengths to ensure that the father no longer has an impact on the child's upbringing, that the father, some women go through lengths to ensure that the child no longer has a relationship with the dad, all because the dad left her, all because they broke up. And that is such a sad situation. It's not good for the children. And as mothers, we need to stop it. We need to stop it. The children need to see their fathers. They need to experience their fathers. They need to spend time with their fathers. And a lot of women like to come out with what I call like the pity party, where they say, "Him a workless, him a deadbeat, him not take care of him pitney them." Why? Because the man and you is not together anymore, and because you are trying to be mean and cruel and vindictive. Therefore, you are putting all kinds of obstacles in the way for the man not to spend time with his child or children. And that, to me, is child abuse. You should not, a woman should not do that to a child. If the man run, we're gone, then so be it. If the man run, we're gone. But you should not deny your child the right to see their father, to experience their father, to spend time with their father, all because you vex because the man left you. Let me go back in the chat before I show you all that video. Let's see who is here. So Ansia says, my uncles took care of me while my mom worked abroad. All right. So there is another perspective there. Ansia says her uncles took care of her while her mom went abroad to work. All right. We have had family members who have stepped in. I have had family members step in and care for my children. And, gratefulness is always on my plate, always on my plate, always being served for my family members who took care of my children when I either couldn't, wasn't able to, or wasn't there. All right. Lorraine says, my father combed our hair, wash our clothes, cook our meals. I still cry for him. He would listen to all my silly conversation words. Can't explain. Oh, bless his heart, Lorraine. Bless your heart. I see that. I see that you loved your dad, and no doubt he loved you dearly as well. I mean, girl, you just warm my heart today when I see your post. Oh my God. It seems like your dad was such a fantastic man, such a wonderful man, and a wonderful role model for you. And I am happy that at least one man, guys, at least one man was such a good father to his children in the absence of a mother. All right, guys, let me move forward. Let me show you all what I was talking about, how some mothers have poisoned the relationship between their children and the children's father based on the things that they have chosen to do. Let's take a look at this video.
Sit up so that I can see your hair. Your hair pretty. Yeah.
All right, you see that, guys? So daddy is there admiring baby's hair. Look how the baby looks so cute. She looks so happy that her hair, daddy got her hair done. She looks cute. She looks pretty. Wonderful, wonderful, right? Kudos to daddy for fixing up baby's hair and bring back baby to mama. And we would think mama would be happy, like, wow, baby, look at that. Your daddy got your hair done. It's beautiful. Because we know, guys, that baby is going to treasure that hairstyle because daddy got it done. All right? But when baby gets to mama, look what happens.
My baby sitting up out there being crying.
I don't care. I told you stop playing
That
with me.
motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here.
So did.
Look at that
Now
shit. That shit sad. Hurt
Now
my
wait.
baby feeling.
Now wait.
Cause you don't hurt the dad,
I
you
don't
hurt her
care. I
feelings.
do
You
my
hurt my
own
baby
girl
feelings.
hair.
My
I do
baby
my
sat
own
there
girl
for 2
hair.
hours.
I do my own girl hair.
My baby sat there for 2 hours.
Stop playing with me. Go.
Ah, boy. Yep. I'm going to show you all this again. I'm going to show you all this again.
My baby sitting up out there being crying.
I don't care. I told you stop playing
That
with me.
motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here.
So did.
Look at that
Now
shit. That shit sad. Hurt
Now
my
wait.
baby feeling.
Now wait.
Cause you don't hurt the
I
dad, you
don't
hurt her
care. I
feelings.
do
You
my
hurt my
own
baby
girl
feelings.
hair.
My
I do
baby
my
sat
own
there
girl
for 2
hair.
hours.
I do my own girl hair.
My baby sat there for 2 hours.
Stop playing with me. Go.
All right. All right, guys. You all see what I'm talking about. You all saw that, right? You all see what I am talking about. How women, some of us women, can poison the relationship between our children and their father. Let me see what Lorraine says here. Lorraine says, he died in my hand. That is why it is so hard for me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Lorraine. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. We're going to be praying for you, Lorraine. I'm so sorry because your father seemed like he was a wonderful human being. All right, guys, you see that? Did you see that video that I played there? Now, you all tell me, what do you all think? What do you all think? Talk to me, guys. Tell me. Amy, guys, there's my friend Amy from the Philippines. Welcome, Amy. Welcome, Amy. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Thank you for joining me, Amy. Thank you so much. Guys, you can go ahead and connect with my friend Amy there. She's from the Philippines. Welcome, Amy. Thank you for coming. Guys, when you come in, thank you, Amy, for that like. Don't forget to hit that like button. Do not forget to like, comment, and share. And do not forget to subscribe if you have not yet done so. I am wonderful, Lorraine. I say Lorraine again. I am wonderful, Amy. How are you doing, Amy? How are you doing? I am doing well. See me here? I am here talking as usual. How are you doing, my friend? How is it over there in the Philippines? I know it's probably nighttime over there by now. How are you doing? All right, guys, what do you all have to say about that video? Come, guys, talk to me. What do you all have to say about that video? What mom did to that child? What do you all have to say? Because I was so disgusted. When I tell you disgusted, just utterly disgusted by what the mama did. Mama had no business cutting the braids out of the baby's hair. No business. And even if she is able to do the baby's hair, let the baby enjoy the fact that daddy got the hair done. Tell her it is beautiful. Even when it's burning you inside, that ego make another woman do your child's hair. Even when it is cutting you up inside, because you know, have nothing better to do with your feelings more than be angry that the man get the baby's hair done. There's nothing to be angry about. There is absolutely nothing to be angry about. The man got the baby's hair done. It's not like the baby go over there with a full head of hair and come back, the man cut off the baby's hair. There's nothing to be angry about. Not like the baby go over there and the baby come back with a big old burn or something like that. The baby come back just fine with her hair done nicely. And you stand there and traumatize this child by cutting out the hair out of the pitney head. How unkind, how mean, how cruel you are to the child. And you think you hurt the father? You did not hurt the father. You have hurt the child, because even if the father spent the money on the child's hair and now consider the money have been wasted, that little girl is going to remember that event for the rest of her life. That her mother cut out the braids that her father spent money to put in her hair. All right. Welcome to my stream, guys. Welcome to the chat. This is Trev from Trevescent. If you are new here, I want to say welcome. Thank you for coming. You might want to take your shoes off, enter my house. To the right is the subscribe button. To the left is the like button. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and share out the chat. We are talking about life without a father. That's what we are talking about. Life without a father. If you have a father who was not in your life, who had been dead since you were a child, if you were raised by a single parent, come on, talk with me. Let us have a conversation. I see people here. When you come in, guys, do not forget to hit that like button. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your company, because I'm sure on this Saturday afternoon and this day before Father's Day, on this Juneteenth day, I know that there are lots of other things you all could be doing, but you have chosen to be here with me, and I appreciate it immensely. All right, let us continue, guys. Let us continue and see who else is in the chat. The lovely Amy is here. Lorraine Bailey is here. There are other people who are here. Ansia is here. Welcome, Ansia. Lorraine is here. Guys, if you would like to call me, go ahead and call me at 910-605-7149. The number is running on the screen. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And do not forget, when you come into my house, it is okay to say something in the chat so we know you are there. Let's have a conversation. All right, moving right along. I am going to be showing you again this video that I want us to talk about, as we talk about how women as well can poison the relationship between children and their fathers. I'm going to show you this video once again. And you tell me, guys, tell me what you think about this video and what the mom did to this child.
My baby sitting up out there bitch crying.
I don't care. I told you stop playing with
This
me.
motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here.
So did.
Look at that
Now
shit. That shit sad. Hurt
Now
my
wait.
baby feeling.
Now wait.
Cause you don't hurt the dad, you
I
hurt her
don't care.
feelings.
I do
You
my
hurt my
own
baby
girl
feelings.
hair.
My
I do
baby
my
sat
own
there
girl
for 2
hair.
hours.
I do my own girl hair.
My baby sat there for 2 hours.
Stop playing with me. Go.
How much more ignorant? How much more ignorant can you get as a mother to do such a thing? To hurt the poor baby like that. The poor baby. The poor baby. who is going to remember that for the rest of her life, that this is how mom reacted when my dad got my hair braided. Mom cut it all out. Cut it all out. Hurt the poor baby's feelings. If you are in the chat, guys, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining me. If you are standing on the outside, which I know a lot of people stand on the outside and look in, if you're on the outside looking in, one day you will step into my house. One sweet, sweet day, you will step into my house. But if you're on the outside right now, I want to say thank you for being there. Thank you for looking in. Thank you for chatting with me. If you are chatting in the comments, if you are not, if you're just reading, that's fine too. But I want to say welcome to those who are here and to those who will come into my house after this broadcast has ended. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Now, the conversation today surrounds life without a father. Have you had the experience of raising your children all by yourself? Have you had the experience of being raised by a single parent? What has your experience with single parenthood be? If you would like to talk to me about that, now is a fantastic time. The day before Father's Day. Now is a great time for you to call me, for you to come up on the live. I have dropped, let me drop the link again. There is the link again. Go ahead, click on the link and follow the instructions and come on up on the screen and let us chat. Let us have a conversation. If you want to talk about single parenthood, being a single parent, or having to grow up without a single parent, and tell me, having to grow up without both parents, I should say, and come on and tell me, how has that influenced your life, the outcomes of your life, the experiences you have had? How has being raised by a single parent influenced your life? Okay, come on, guys, come on and talk to me. Let's see how that goes. Let me get in the chat and see who is here. Okay. All right, there is Ansia there. All right, anybody wants to come up and chat with me? If you don't want to come up via this stream, you can always call me. My phone is right here. You can always call me and tell me about your experience. Whether it is your experience as a single parent, whether it is your experience having been raised by a single parent, or whether it is your experience having raised your children all by yourself. You know, I am one of those people who have been raised by my mom, a single mom. My dad has been out of the picture, I've been dead since I was 8 years old. My dad was a police officer killed in the line of duty when I was only 8 years old. So my mother was forced to raise her children all by herself. And by raising us by herself, she has influenced how we turn out. She has been a great influence for me. All my mom has ever had for us is encouraging words, good words for us, and good deeds for us to do. She has taught us how to cook, wash, clean, to take care of ourselves. Education was always at the top of her list. And knowing that my mom didn't go to school much when she was a child, she had spent most of her childhood days out of school, really, because she had been working very early. Back in those days, it was the norm for some girls to stay home and cook and wash and clean and take care of the younger siblings, while the others, some children would go to school and some children would not. Well, my mom was among the latter, the children that would not be allowed to go to school and spend time in school and get an education. So my mom basically has like a third grade education. It is what it is, but you cannot find a more encouraging person. And I've always said to myself, if my mom can have just a third grade education, and she can have such profound influence on those around her, can you imagine if my mom was able to get a full education. Can you imagine? I guess my grandmother never imagined that because she never even I don't think my grandmother even thought about how much not sending my mom to school robbed her of her potentials. Her real potentials were never really maximized academically because she was not given the opportunity. She was not sent to school. She stayed home and, took care of her younger siblings and did housework and stuff. So she ended up being quite domesticated. And with my mom having to raise her girls all by herself, she has taught us all the wonderful lessons of, being kind, being truthful, being honest, being loyal. She taught us cooking and cleaning and washing and sewing and all the other little lessons, life lessons, how to handle stress, how to handle disappointment, how to move. All my mom has ever had for us is encouraging words. And she encourages us to do our best at all times and to do the right thing. So regardless of whether or not we agree with somebody, she always says you may not agree with somebody, but always do the right thing. And I think that is what has stayed with me and continues to resonate with me. Why, even when somebody has done me harm and does me and have done me so much wrong, I always feel bad just to stand up for myself against these people. I tend to feel badly that if I stand up for myself and it turns out to get a negative outcome for them, I'm going to feel badly. But thanks to my mom, she has taught me some wonderful, when I tell you wonderful, some wonderful life lessons. And I so appreciate it, you know, because I did not have a father. So I have no father influence to tell me what I could and couldn't do, what I should and shouldn't do, and what he would and wouldn't do if I didn't do what he said. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Those of you who are here, those of you who are coming, those of you who will see the live stream after it has ended, I want to say thank you, thank you so much for coming into my house. If it is your first time on my channel, guys, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You can still comment and share. If you have come into my house when the stream is over, do not forget to leave me a comment so that I can return the favors. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. Thank you to those of you who have stayed with me throughout this live stream. For those of you who have commented and kept me engaged in the conversation, I appreciate it, each and every one of you. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate the conversation that we have been able to have this afternoon. I thank you so much for coming. If there is anyone, Lorraine. All right. Lorraine says, enough respect to your mom, Trev. Yes, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I respect that woman so much. I have so much respect for her. The lessons she teaches and the way that she has raised us, and the way that she has stood by us, the way that I see my mom love and share. And I mean, she is just a fantastic human being. And the lessons she has taught us which will stay with us forever and ever and ever. Amen. We will be able to pass this down to our children and grandchildren for generations to come. Even after my mom has passed on, we will be able to, she will stay alive in our thoughts. She will stay alive in the lessons that she has taught her children and has taught her grandchildren and is currently teaching to her great grandchildren. Yes, she will continue to do so until she is no more. So thank you again, guys, for joining me. Thank you for coming into this stream. Thank you so much. If it is your first time here, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. If you are a returning traveler, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for having spent the last 2 hours with me. As I start here, we talked about life without a father, single parenthood, and we have shared we have shared into the conversation of mothers being able to take care of their children all on their own, and fathers. My friend Lauren, whose father it was that raised her while her mom took off and left them. The father took care of his children. We applaud fathers like that who have been able to stay with their children, comb their hair, cook their food, and do everything like that for their children. I want to say welcome. Foreign TTB, you're late. I forgot was to send the car for you, my friend. But thank you anyway for coming. Thank you so much for joining us. You might be a little late, but it's better to be late than not to show up at all. And I appreciate you coming. Are you staying with me? I always love having a conversation with you. So are you going to stay with me? Let's have a conversation. Did you see the video that I showed of the woman, what the woman did to the little girl? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So since you are coming on in now, I am going to be playing. Let me play that video again. It's none but a few minutes, a few seconds. I'm going to be playing that video again, Foreign TTB, and you tell me what you think about this video. All right, I'm going to play the first one first.
Sit up so bad I can see your hair. Your hair pretty. Yeah.
All right, that is Daddy there complimenting baby how beautiful she looks, and her hair is so beautiful. And then he takes the baby back to mommy, and this is what happens.
My baby sitting about this bitch crying.
I don't care. I told you stop playing
This
with me.
motherfucker cut my baby hair out of here.
So did.
Look at that
Now
shit. That shit sad. Hurt
Now
my
wait.
baby feeling.
Now wait.
Cause you don't hurt the dad, you hurt her
I
feelings.
do
You
my
hurt my
own
baby
girl
feelings.
hair.
My baby sat there for 2 hours.
I do my own girl hair.
My baby sat there for 2
Stop
hours.
playing with me. Go.
That's right there, guys. That right there, Foreign. That right there. Yeah, that right there. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about that, my friend? What can you say? I love your insights. You want to call me up, chat with me? You want to chat in the chat, or you want to call me up? You want to come on stream, or you want to call me on the phone? Whichever. Go ahead and tell me how do you feel about what this woman did to this little girl? Baby, not more than maybe 2 years old, if that old. You know, the trauma that this young child has suffered, the trauma that mom has just inflicted on this child by having cut out the child's hair. Cutting out the child's hair only because the father me know safari Lorraine not easy though. Lord Jesus, Lorraine not easy. Lorraine not easy. Lorraine say a cucumber feeling she a carry. You know say a true that. You know say a true though. Yeah. She a carry cucumber feeling. She vex. Whatever reason, Lord Lorraine, you're not easy. Yeah, man, she a carry cucumber feelings. At first, me I hear that one, but that is true. She a carry cucumber feeling. Let me see what Foreign TTB says. That's an example of some society's problems. Some society's problems. Some women's problems. Yeah, women. Yeah, that woman did the most and the worst. That was not necessary, that was not called for, that was unkind, that was mean, and that was cruel. And she thinks she's hurting the daddy because the daddy probably spent the money to to do the baby's hair. But she's not hurting the daddy, she is hurting the baby. And that baby is going to remember that event for the rest of her life. And that is the sad part of the story. Yes, that is the saddest part of the story, is that poor baby is going to remember that her daddy took her to get her hair done. It was beautifully done. And then mommy cut it out. That is going to be the prevailing story when this little child is able to articulate it in the spoken words. That's what she's going to say. All right, who else is in the chat? What are you all saying now, guys? Anybody else in the chat? Let us continue this conversation about moms who carry cucumber feelings and hurt their children, believing that they are hurting the father. Any other opinions on this? Anybody else? Yes, because we know that a lot of times when a woman is no longer with the father of their children, they can do the worst and the most. They do the worst and the most when they are no longer with the child's father. Foreign TTB says this can happen on both sides, but this example terribly reflects the attitude of this child's future. You know, that is true, because certainly for this child's future, it is going to be, somebody needs to put a stop to that mother. Somebody needs to put a stop to her, because unless somebody does, she is going to continue to undermine everything that man does for his child. Every single thing that man will ever do for that child, that mother is going to undermine it, cut it out, erase it, anything. And that is a sad, sad, sad situation for any child to have to grow up with. All right? That is a sad, sad, sad situation. All right? Okay, guys, that is going to be the that is going to be it for right now, guys. We have been talking, and I have my friends here who have been joining into the conversation. We have been having a fantastic conversation pertaining to life without a father, for people who have not had a father, never had a father, used to have a father, or don't know no father at all. We have been talking to them, and we have had a lovely Every time we decide to come up, somebody else come in. Desireen. Good evening, Desireen. Good evening, Desireen. Why make your foot them so short? Where you been all this time? Where have you been, Desireen? Welcome to the chat. Welcome. We have been here talking. Me drop the link in the stream. No come up. Me put my number for run across the screen. No come up. One day, you all will be brave enough to come on the screen and to call me on the phone and tell me about your experience with the topic. Today's topic was life without a father, Desireen. And we have heard from people who say their father was missing, but they turned out well. We have had people who says their father was the only one there. Their mother was missing, but their father provided for them all their lives. And we applaud those fathers. We celebrate those fathers who stayed in their children's lives and raised their children until, as my mother would have said, until them pass the worst and take care of their children. We applaud those fathers. So this is it, guys. This is it. We have come to the end of another live stream from Trebescence on Trebescence Unstoppable. We have come to another live stream where we have chatted about life without a parent, life without a father. Some people have experienced it on both ends, life without a father or life with a father who wasn't there or something like that. Foreign says, I don't know my father, but had a stepfather. I functioned as an adult during my teens. Okay, you hear that, guys? All right. So some people had a father, some people did not have a father. But Foreign says he had a stepfather and he was basically taking care of himself as a teenager. I mean, that does happen sometimes. I mean, but I don't know. Talk to me. What happened to your father? Did he just run off? What was the case with your father, Foreign? Why he was not there? Lauren says that number needs to be larger for me to see. Which number? Which number, Lauren, need to be larger for me to see? Oh, you can't see the number? 910-605-7149. Oh, then the number not big enough. I think the number was well big enough, Lauren. I thought the number was well big. Oh, I'm sorry. But it's 910-605-7149. Desrin says, my father is dead. He was a good daddy to us. Okay, very good. My father too. My father was killed when I was 8 years old. So I don't have a father's influence on my upbringing, or my outcome. I don't have a father's influence on it. But either way, guys, thank you all for coming into the chat. Do not forget, guys, to hit that like button. You may like, comment, and share in the chat box. So go ahead, like the stream, share the stream out, and comment in the chat box. Guys, this is it for this topic. I am going to tend to my younging. I'm going to tend to my younging and get her something to eat. And then maybe later on, I might come back and do another live. But for right now, guys, let me see what Foreign says. I looked after my 5 other siblings while my mother migrated. 4 girls and 1 boy. Learned how to cook, etc. very early. I know when mothers come abroad to get a quote unquote a better life for their children, the children are left to, as my granny would have said, left to the mercy of the world. So the children are left to sort of raise themselves, raise their younger siblings, and take care of them. No TT, no work today. I worked Wednesday night and Thursday night, so I'm off today. I don't go back until Monday morning. But my younging is here. It is my week with her, and so I am going to go off and go get her something to eat and get her together, because I only get to spend 7 days with her, so I try to maximize the time that I spend with her and the time that I spend with you all. So I'm going to get her something to eat, and then I'm going to come back later on with something else, because on the weekends when I'm off, I try to get the most into my lives, because during the week when I go to work, I don't even have time to cook and share with you my cooking. Sometimes I don't. But anyway, I didn't have a dad. My dad was killed since I was 8 years old. My mom raised me all by myself, and I turned out just fine. I had a child during my teenage years, but that didn't stop me. That didn't cramp my style. My mom was still there, stood up behind me, and said, Trev, you think you're going to Tanya on what list? You're not Tanya on what list. So, may I sit on over this machine and may I make your school uniform, and you go back at school and you go continue doing what you do. And I'm so glad that my mom did, because here I am today. I can feed her, I can clothe her, I can put a roof over her head, I can take the best care of her while she is alive. And I am so grateful. I appreciate my mom so much. Those of you who were here this morning heard the lovely prayers she prayed and the blessing that she spread to all of us this morning. If you did not hear it, guys, go back and listen to the service my mom had this morning with her singing and her praying, you will see it in my live streams. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for spending time with me. I appreciate each and every one of your company this afternoon. So until next time, guys, this is Trev from Travascence, reminding you all to always take good care of yourselves and each other. And to my friend JY, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My grandmother always says, good friends are better than pocket money. And you have proven that to me, JY. Good friends are better than pocket money. So, guys, until next time, this is your girl Trev from Travascence reminding y'all to always take good care of yourselves and each other and have a fantastic rest of the afternoon until I come back later. All right, guys? So see you later.